Hello there, my name is Dan, but the brothers in KC know me as Danko. Hey, I've been a Prince fan for over 40 years, and the reason I made this video is, I didn't get into any reaction videos for a long time. Only recently I got to Virgin Rock and was watching her evaluate Pink Floyd and Beatles and some other stuff, and got intrigued by that, and I saw the High Ren video on her channel. That really intrigued me, and I became a huge Ren fan and started looking at reaction videos. So while I was doing that, I found that there's not all that many Prince videos out, and people seem to be missing a lot of the best stuff. Now there's a couple out there that are good. I want to give credit where credit is due, but overall, it seems to me like Prince is getting left out. Now, one of the things is he gets left out of rock and roll and grouped in with Michael Jackson as just a singer-performer. And it's not accurate. Michael Jackson was a singer-performer. Prince was an all-around musician and artist. He played, 27 instruments or more. So, you may have heard this, that Prince was an awesome drummer. People say he had perfect time. He was a better drummer than most of the drummers that played with him, or most of the drummers out there. He was a better bass player than the bass players that played with him. And you can find a lot of live videos with him playing bass, and it's good stuff. He was an amazing guitarist, one of the best of all time. I put him up there in the top 5. You might not agree, but that's why we talk about it. He grew up on the piano. He's an amazing pianist. Something that I learned recently was that his skill at arrangement there was nobody better. I don't even really know what arrangement is. It's bringing instruments in and out and having an overall scheme, but they say he was the best at that. So, and Prince was amazingly prolific. He created so much material that in the beginning, he created other bands like The Time, Maserati, Sheila E. to get rid of this excess of material, and very often he played all the instruments on those albums. Secondly, he would have made 2, 3, 4 albums a year if the record companies would let him. They wouldn't let him. It's not good for their sales. They wanted only the very best, only the cream of the crop, and just to put that out, and he's just pumping stuff out. I mean, he had his album After Purple Rain done before they released Purple Rain. Who does that? And then he gave away a lot of good material, and I see reaction videos to Nothing Compares for You and Nothing Compares to You and some other songs, but they don't go back to the guy who made the song. So it's my opinion that Prince was the greatest musician, probably the greatest artist of the 20th century. And you have to do a deep dive to discover this. I've done that deep dive. Now, I'm an expert. I'm not the expert. There's hundreds of people probably know a lot more about Prince than I do. But I've done my time. So I'm going to disappear from the screen. I'm a very new at this videography stuff. There's so much information in this. I'm presenting it almost like a PowerPoint, so forgive me for that. As I learn and get better at making these videos, I'll make them funner to look at. So, all right. Hope you enjoy. Bye.
So I'm starting at the bottom and assuming you don't really know a whole lot about Prince. I realize that's probably not true, but so one of the criticisms of Prince is that he's very spicy. He had sexuality in his music, and for the time it was shocking. But since then, I mean, his stuff is tame compared to what comes out now. As you can see from this figure on the page, he had 114 albums as of right now. That's a lot. And that's not counting his protege albums like The Time, Maserati, Indy, and many others. But the way to start is with live videos, and there's a lot on YouTube, most of which are unofficial, but some of which are official. I want to note I'm leaving out the Super Bowl and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame videos. Those are huge and iconic, but come back to those. They're not a great way to introduce yourself to Prince. Now here you can see this slide has the first set of videos I would go to. Those first three, Empty Room, Motherless Child, and The Question of You, are just absolutely amazing and should floor you. One of them, Damn You, which is an official music video, it is lip-synced, but it's such a good song and a good presentation. It's really cool to look at. The 1 + 1 + 1 is 3 is also really good. It covers Led Zepp and an old with Whole Lotta Love, and then another old 60s song, Crimson and Clover, and American Woman too. And then Creep is also a cover. And then the last one, Got a Broken Heart Again, comes and goes on YouTube. You might find it, you might not. Two more amazing performances here. They're probably too long for reaction videos, but if you want to get to know Prince and his rock and roll guitar playing, you need to see these two. The Undertaker was like a 45-minute, I think, basically music video, but the performance under it is a one take, and there's one little edit in it, but otherwise it's a one take. The problem with it is the music video theme they tried to add on isn't very good. It kind of detracts. It'd be better off if we just see the band the whole time. But Prince had planned to give this DVD away, I think, in Guitar Player magazine, and then the record companies wouldn't let him, and just more bitterness on his part towards the record industry. The concert, August 8th, 1983, at First Avenue, was this was before the movie Purple Rain came out, and he played a concert at First Avenue. They played Purple Rain and 3 other songs that ended up on the album Purple Rain this night. It was the first night that Wendy Melvoin played with them, so it was basically a new band, and it's just an amazing performance. I hold that this is the moment he became a superstar. And performance just fantastic. Here is a second set of YouTube videos that are almost as good as the first set. Some of these come and go, but you can usually find them. That Jungle Strut is a Santana cover. The Peach, that's one of my favorite performances, when Prince is just channeling Keith Richards and playing like Keith Richards wishes he could play. Reflections is sweet. It's just 2 acoustic guitars. That's Something in the Water from 2014. That's one of my favorite late in life videos. It's just not that long before he died. It's an amazing performance. The other one I'll mention is the Bat Dance official video. Now, most of us saw this back in 1989, 1990. But may have forgotten. It is an absolutely amazing video. So many changes in different styles. Check that out again. It's really good. Also, if you go to YouTube and you search for Prince Vault or Dream Factory, there are 3 or 4 compilations or albums that are unofficial on YouTube, and some of them are really good. One of them, I think, is like his 3rd or 4th best album ever. So what's out there? There's a whole lot of official audio, and that continues to grow as the Prince Estate puts out these deluxe editions. Prince made a lot of videos. There's a lot of official video. Sometimes I'm still surprised at what I find. 3, 4, 5 videos per album, even if the album didn't sell that well. There's a huge amount of unofficial audio out there, bootleg stuff. Some of it's really, really good, and the thing that I like is different versions of the same song. There's 2 or 3 of these where there's like 5 versions, and I love each one for its own reasons. There's a lot of unofficial video out there. Most of it's live. It's pretty rare to see one pop up, but it does happen. So on the next pages, I'm going through all his studio albums. I'll go through some quick, some slow. So a lot of people don't know this, but Prince was recording in '76 or so. His first album came out in 78, second album in 79. They're both fairly much R&B, and they are totally Prince productions. I mean, some of his first band, they said they spent some days with him and so on after the fact, but it's pretty much just all Prince. The first album, 1978, For You, is very good. It's really thick on layered vocals and very R&B like. The song that got attention at the time, Soft and Wet, was a little bit risque for the time. It's a very cool song, though, and Prince won a lot of fans off that one song. I've seen interviews with a lot of people that said that song got them, and they've been a fan ever since. I love the song So Blue. It's one of my favorite acoustic guitar Prince songs, and Crazy You is very good as well. The next album is a little more rockish. I Feel For You, a lot of people covered that. It's on that album. Still Waiting is a song I love. And then Bambi's a rocker that he did throughout his career. These two albums, oh boy, man, they are amazing. You got to keep the time, 1980, 1981 in mind. They're both like a new wave punk. They both are kind of shocking on some songs. Dirty Mind is just wonderful. When You're Mine, Dirty Mind, Head, like I said, the whole album is fire. Controversy is a little bit tamer, though in one song he recites the Lord's Prayer, and that pissed off a whole lot of people, even though Prince was a true believer and he meant it. Really good songs on there too. These are just two of his best albums. I don't know if there's much here for reaction videos, but if you're learning to like Prince, this is a time period when he was growing and turning into something different. So 1999 came out and once again shocked everyone. And this is when I became a Prince fan. It was with 1999. It's an amazing album, just absolutely amazing. It's just the beats, the synthesizers, the apocalyptic nature. Wonderful album. I had this thing on my turntable and just left it there for like a year. I mean, Automatic, AUT-O-Matic, and Something in the Water, DMSR. Just really good, long, cool songs. Nobody's ever made an album like this before or after. It's just that unique. All right, Purple Rain, Prince's masterpiece. You know, every song on this album got extended radio play. Purple Rain, When Doves Cry, Computer Blue, just amazing. A lot of people were won over by Prince and watching the movie, which little dated now with some misogyny, but the performances are just great. Best album he made. So his next two albums, Around the World in a Day and Parade, have some really good songs on them, had some big hits, but they're both quirky. Around the World in a Day kind of has a maybe Middle Eastern feel to it on some of the songs, and Parade was made while he was over in France filming the movie Under the Cherry Moon, so it has a real French influence. I really like Around the World in a Day as an album, a full album. The song Temptation, supposedly, well, I've heard it, shows Prince's full vocal range of nearly 6 octaves, from whistling to just a sub bass. Of course, the song Kiss, just iconic. No one could do that but Prince. And the non-repetitive drums, I believe in that they go read the story about the drums in Kiss. Sometimes It Snows in April, a great sad song. The first thing I thought of, because when we found out he died, it was in April, and that's what the song's about. So Sign of the Times is considered Prince's second masterpiece. It's a double album. Every song on it's good, and the album's very coherent as a whole. He had submitted a triple album, and the record company said, no, we'll give you a double album, and that pissed Prince off and was basically the start of the feud between him and the record companies. He had been working on a different album with the members of the Revolution called Dream Factory, that I mentioned earlier, and that was largely with the Revolution. Well, he disbanded the Revolution, and then he just dropped that project, and it's officially still sitting in the vault. There's unofficial stuff released that you can find. Extended edition recently came out. It's got some really good songs on it that I've listed here. Shockadelica, Place in Heaven, All My Dreams, Train, Soul Psychedelicide was one of my favorite Prince songs. Witness for the Prosecution. Just a fantastic album. Special place in my heart for If I Was Your Girlfriend. No one's ever made a song like that before Prince. Love Sexy in 1988 was a very good album. One thing that pissed people off, though, was there was no space between the songs. So on vinyl, it was basically 2 songs, and you had to find, if you wanted to skip something, you had to find it. But the whole album's really good. It's got great songs on it. Alphabet Street, boy, there's Alphabet Street remixes that are just fantastic. The Batman album was a really big seller, but I think that had more to do with Batman than the album itself. The album's kind of quirky and different. It has a few really good songs on it, but most of them are, you can give or take. Graffiti Bridge is a movie soundtrack, so it has some other artists on it. But it's mostly Prince. It has some good songs on it. Question of You, Joy and Repetition, Thieves in the Temple, all fantastic songs. So pretty good album. Diamonds and Pearls, another very good album, and they've just put out a deluxe edition that has some very good new stuff, or previous unreleased stuff. I love the song Thunder, and there's a new one out that's even better. On the deluxe edition, there's a song called Blood in the Sheets, which is just instrumental guitar. Just fantastic. The Love Symbol album is also a good album. It has some weird segues between songs that confuse people. But it's got My Name is Prince, Sexy MF, 7, and Damn You, really good songs. Come is also a very good album. It's the last, I'm going to say, good album that he gave to Warner Brothers. This was the time when you can see on your screen, on the left you got the symbol, on the right you got Prince, and on that cover it actually says Prince died in 1993 or something like that. Or anyway, he retired the Prince name and took up the symbol for a while. The song Space on there, he put out an EP with 3 or 4 different versions. There's an acoustic one that's just really, really good. And then I've always loved the song Dark. So the Black Album has an interesting story that you ought to go read if you're interested. Even in the late 80s, us Prince fans knew about this album because Prince had made it, and it was produced and printed, and vinyl and tapes were made, and then Prince said no, and they destroyed all of them, except of course a few leaked out. And now I do believe the original Black Album is the most valuable record of all. Probably wrong there, but it's it's worth thousands of dollars. The Black Album's really different, and Susan Rogers, his engineer, said that he could make songs like this, in an hour, and that this was just playful for him, and you can kind of believe it. It's all very, very funky. The song Bob George. So Prince has alter egos, and Camille, where he sings in a high voice, everybody's already familiar with Camille, even if they've never heard that before. Now, I may be incorrect here, but he uses a different effect on his voice here. And that might be Spooky Electric, his evil persona. Anyway, Bob George, it belongs in Pulp Fiction, and it just makes me laugh every time I listen to it. I listen to it regularly. Le Grand is another good funk song. The Gold Experience is a very polished album. It's very good. It's Most Beautiful Girl in the World, Pussy Control. I love the song 319, though I've never figured out what it's about. Just a really good album. Chaos and Disorder was another album that Prince gave to the record company to fulfill his contract. So it was old material. It's kind of grungy, this album, and it's more of a guitar album than lots of them are. Xana Lee, Dig You Better Dead, good songs, kind of cool. So Emancipation is the first album Prince put out basically when he was freed from his record contract. And it's a triple album. It's all really good. It's fun to just listen to, to one side. Bunch of good songs. The song Joint to Joint is probably my favorite Prince studio song. It's got like 5 sections, and it has a tap dance solo of all things on audio. Ever heard of that before? Just some really cool stuff in there. My Computer for the Time, 1996. He's writing about getting lost in the computer world. Very good album. So when I purchased it, Crystal Ball and the Truth came together in a 4 CD set. So Crystal Ball, 3 of the CDs, had a lot of, this was a Prince under the symbol, he was releasing this, but it had a lot of older stuff. You can see I listed a lot of songs that I like. It's a really good album. The Truth was an acoustic album that came with Crystal Ball. It's a really good, interesting album. It's cool to hear Prince play all acoustic. 4 good songs listed there. Check them out. Old Friends for Sale was the last album by Warner Brothers, of older material that Prince had given him from the vault. It's a good album. It has some really good songs on it. I really like 5 Women. It's a old blues song. I believe it's a cover. There Is Lonely is a wonderful song. Nobody's ever made a song like that before. Raven to the Joy Fantastic is a good album. It's a little bit different. He has lots of guests on there. Gwen Stefani, Eve, Andy DeFranco, Chuck D. Also has Rhonda Smith and Maceo Parker. Maceo Parker was James Brown's sax player. One of the best sax players of the end of the century. The Rainbow Children, bought it when it came out, and to tell you the truth, I didn't like it that much. I liked a couple of the songs, but it's a little bit preachy, and his Jehovah's Witness religion seeps in a little bit more than I cared. 1 + 1 + 1 is 3, Last December, and The Work, all great songs. So One Night Alone was a live set. I believe it was 3 live CDs, but it also had this one CD that is just Prince and piano. Not much to it. A Case of You, which is a Joni Mitchell song that Prince covered a lot throughout his career, is very good. Otherwise, it's fun to listen to, but nothing really stands out. These 2 albums, Expectation and News, are basically all instrumental jazz. I've only heard them a few times. There's some catchy stuff in there. The second album, News, is North, East, West, and South. It's 4 songs with those titles. I know that at least one of them I've listened to several times, and people have done remixes too and stuff. But otherwise, nothing really special here for you to go find. Musicology was a really good album that brought a lot of people back to Prince. And perhaps it was because he did all the talk shows and stuff and played particularly musicology. Certainly, it kind of brought me back into the fold. All four of these songs I've listed, Musicology, Call My Name, Cinnamon Girl, Reflection, are really good songs. So the Chocolate Invasion is one I didn't buy when it came out. I just bought it a few years ago, and it really surprised me. It's very funky. Super Cute, My Medallion, Vavoom, Hi, Sex Me Not, all really cool songs. I like this album a lot. So the Slaughterhouse is a lot like the Chocolate Invasion. It's a kind of an NPG album. It's very funky. Not quite as good as the Chocolate Invasion, I think, but Silicon's a very cool song, Props and Pounds. Northside's very, very funky. Daisy Chain's one, I've heard some live versions that are really, really good. 3121, kind of like Musicology, got people interested in Prince again. It's a very good album. I've listed 5 songs. They're all really good. Fury's a rocker, and he did that on several TV shows and award ceremonies, stuff like that. There was a real good version he did on Saturday Night Live that you can't find on YouTube, unfortunately, but there's one from the Brit Awards that's also very good. Planet Earth's another one that I didn't buy when it came out, and I don't know it that well. I listened to it again. It's a good album. The song Guitar is really notable. He did that live a lot. Planet Earth was very good. So Lotus Flower and NPL Sound are 2 different albums, but you bought them in a 3 CD pack. The third one was a protege. I've forgotten her name. They're both pretty good. I've listed quite a few songs, but there's nothing really amazing in there. So I'm ashamed to admit, but these 2 albums are 2 that I never did purchase. I listened to them on YouTube, and they're interesting, and there's some good stuff. On 2010, the song Lay Down, he covered that quite a bit live. It's a very good song, funky rocker. And Plectrum Electrum, I saw him do a couple of these with Third Eye Girl. I guess it's the first band with Third Eye Girl. And it's interesting stuff. No hits or anything, nothing really spectacular, but it's a good album. So it's the same story for these 2 albums. They're not albums I bought when they came out and just listened to them recently. Nothing really spectacular. I listed a couple of the interesting songs, but that's about it. So Artificial Age is the last album that Prince put out while he was alive. It's a very good album. Baltimore's kind of a political response to the Freddie Gray murder, Rock and Roll Love Affair, 2I2D, and bass. Prince playing bass on Stairs, really good. Screwdriver's a great song, and there's a great official video to that. Welcome from America is an unusual album. Prince recorded this in 2010 with, I know Tal Wilkenfield, if I said that right. She's bass player with a lot of people. You see her with Jeff Beck quite a bit. So he recorded, put down all the music in 2010, and all the musicians left, and then Prince laid vocals over afterwards. It was never released until 2021, and that's a pretty good album. It's different. You can tell with different musicians. They thought he didn't put it out because they never were going to tour to support it with that same group. So Piano and a Microphone is kind of an amazing story. This was a cassette they found in Prince's vault. So it's old. It's really fun to listen to. It's got early versions of some of his best songs. Just him playing a piano in 1983. It's good stuff. Prince was an amazing piano player, and most people don't know that. Originals is an album that us Prince fans had been wanting for a long time. It has all the original versions of those songs he gave to other people, like Manic Monday. I mean, the Prince version's fantastic. Noon Rendezvous is a song he worked on for a long, long time, never put on the album. Has the original Nothing Compares to You. Just really cool to see this older stuff. Just a couple more albums and we're done. So this album was put out not under Prince's name, but just as New Power Generation. He put out 3 of those. The first one's basically a rap album, not really that good. Exodus is very good. And there's an EP out there, an unofficial one called Deliverance from the same time period that's also good. New Power Soul, though, was very different for Prince, and I really liked it a lot. The song Come On is fantastic. Wasted Kisses, which is a hidden track, it's like track 77 or something. One of the most touching songs I've ever heard Prince do. Just really love that song. So the hits, the B-sides, is basically a greatest hits album. If there was one album I tell people to buy, it's this album, because it has all those greatest hits, but it also has all the extended version EPs or B-sides that he put out, with his more known songs. And us Prince nuts were hanging around the record stores trying to find these EPs. They were Prince's best stuff. Peach and Pope, I love the song The Pope. Erotic City, amazing song. No one has ever done a song like Erotic City. Just a fantastic song. 17 Days, How Come You Don't Call Me Anymore? Alicia Keys covered that, really touching song. Another Lonely Christmas, just amazing song. Yeah, if you buy one album, this is the one to buy. All right, we are at the end of my presentation here. Prince put out 114 albums, and that doesn't count his protege albums, and that includes The Time, where he played all the instruments on the first couple albums, or Sheila E.'s album has some good stuff. He put out there's an EP on YouTube with Andy Allo that is just fantastic. It's acoustic, and they do some cover songs. They do a Bob Marley cover song. There's a Poet 99 rap album on YouTube that I've really grown to like. The rap lyrics and stuff, not so much, but Prince is playing all the instruments behind it, and that's really good. There are 13 audio recordings on YouTube from the NPG Music Club. These were internet broadcasts in the early 2000s. Prince was just way, way ahead of his time on this. So there's some songs by people who were in Prince's Gravity Well, like Rhonda Smith for one, I know. And then they took Prince songs, remixed them, DJ'd them, and it's just very, very interesting. I really enjoy listening to these. They're all about 45 minutes or so. And there's just a ton of unreleased audio out there. You can go deep. You can go as deep down that rabbit hole as you want with this. Just tons of material. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my presentation. I hope it does you some good, and I hope you learn to love Prince as much as I do.
Boom.